Coventry City have secured their promotion back to the Football League at last after 25 years away from the top flight. They've finally made it back. Draw 1-1, late equaliser away at Blackburn Rovers last night is what secured the promotion for them. It's been a long time coming this. Last few seasons they've always been one of the front runners in the Championship, fallen short on many occasions, twice in the playoffs as well, which we'll talk about all of that in a minute. But first off, congratulations to them. Incredible season, incredible club, incredible rebuild as well. Not just this individual season's been incredible, but their entire rebuild over the last 10 years or so has been incredible. From going from, in the space of 9 seasons, made it all the way back from League 2, all the way back to the Premier League, after a club that was just in complete ruin on and off the pitch. Not even 10 years ago, has managed to make it back to the Premier League with a really one of the most impressive rebuilds I think we've seen, and one of the most fast rises back to the top that we've seen. Absolutely incredible stuff, and you can see how much it meant last night. Them supporters are in the away end at Coventry, and at the end of the game, when the goal went in as well, you can just see the celebrations, how incredible it was as well. They've been made to wait. They had the 0-0 in the game against Sheffield Wednesday a couple of weeks back. A week back, which they could have sealed it at home. They're made to wait the extra week, so it really has been a long time coming this, but they've finally done it. They're finally over the line, and I'm glad they are back. Actually, I'm glad for many reasons. They're a club that historically deserve to be in the top flight. They're a team that's not been in the Premier League for so long. I'm really looking forward to seeing them play in the Premier League. Something I've never seen in my lifetime, and not only that, for me as a Chelsea supporter as well, Frank Lampard being the man to do it for them as the manager means a lot to see as well. To see him doing so well, particularly of a club like Coventry, I think they very well suited to each other. Actually, Frank Lampard, who really needed to get his managerial career back on track after some not so much success at Everton. I think it's the perfect job for him actually to be able to achieve such a big thing with Coventry. As for last night's game, Coventry were given a real test as well by Blackburn, a team fighting for safety. Performed better than I thought they would actually. Taking the lead for a while, looked like they were going to Coventry were going to have to wait another week to seal the promotion, but they got there in the end. They just needed to draw, so that's done now. They will be in the Premier League next season. 25 years ago they were relegated, 2021 or 2021, sorry, to 2001. 2000-2001 season was when they were last in the Premier League, were relegated that season. Spent years in the Championship in the middle of the table, couldn't come back up. Never really made much of a challenge to either, and were eventually relegated. In 2011-2012 season, were relegated to League 1. League 1 didn't go their way either. They had some bad years in that. 16-17 season, points deduction. By this point, I remember they had they had a ground share with Northampton. They had to play in their own stadium. They had all this trouble on and off the pitch, and were relegated that season to League 2. And it just seemed like it couldn't get any worse. A former top flight club. 1967 they first reached the top flight, and they was in the top flight for 34 years. They were more than an established top flight club. They were a team that for generations had been playing in the top flight. So it was a really significant relegation at the time. The fact they had fallen away so much, but in less amount of time, from the time they were relegated from the Premier League to the time they ended up in League 2, in less amount of time they've made it back all the way to the Premier League, which is quite some turnaround. And well, we'll talk more about Frank Lampard now, where he's done in a minute, but first I do think Mark Robins deserves so much praise for this as well, for the part he's played in this as well, because he was an incredible manager for this club as well. I think he was there actually when they were first relegated to League 1. I think, and then he come back when they was in League 2, and he got straight back up in that league. I actually remember the playoff final that year where they beat Exeter at Wembley in League 2. That was very good performance on that day. I remember that as well, and Mark Robins was the manager then. So the fact he's gotten all the way up to the top of the Championship is impressive as well. And what I think as well I've noticed, because since that final I've sort of been following them a bit. They're a team that I've kept an eye on since that final, because of how big of a club they were for that level since that League 2 final. And what I've noticed about him is every season Mark Robins seems to improve him. He seems to take him one step further. His first season in League One, he has him right up near the playoffs. Then the following season, he takes them up again, wins the league convincingly in the lockdown season. And even at this point, Coventry still have off the field problems. They still, at this point, they're sharing the ground with Birmingham, I remember, all through lockdown as well. So it's not like he had everything plain sailing either. He really had to, he really was impressive the way he set them up, the way he navigated all the divisions, and there just seems to be progression every season. They just had a very steady sort of but fast progress every season. And first season in the Championship he keeps them up. The next season he has them up near the playoffs. The next season he actually gets them in the playoffs. And that's the year they lost to Luton at Wembley, which they were so unlucky in that final. That was a 50-50 final. It was a flip of a coin on penalties, and they were so unlucky to have not gone up that day. That final could have honestly gone either way. They were impressive in that playoff campaign as well. They win away at Middlesbrough. They fought back in the final after going 1-0 down early to Luton when things weren't going their way on the day. They managed to get themselves back into it and could have easily gone up that day. And well, it's taken them another 2 failed attempts to reach this point. They've really have been made to wait for this, and it's felt a long time coming for Coventry. I mean, if Mark Robins had took them up that year, which he was one kick of football away from doing, that would have been incredible as well, because I mean, think of how quickly he would have done it then. So he deserves a lot of praise for this as well, because even the following season, after the playoff defeat, he very nearly got them in the playoffs again. Then ultimately was sacked when they didn't have the best start to the season last season, 24-25, and that was when Lampard was brought in, November 2024. So in just over a year and a half, he's managed to get them up, take that next step. He was what they needed to take that next step, which I think makes a lot of sense, because Derby, Frank Lampard's first job was at Derby. Derby were near the top of the Championship in 18-19, and he got them to the playoff final that year, Frank Lampard, and that was his, that was really we first saw that he had potential as a manager then. And when he first came to Chelsea, the first season was very good. Bear in mind, we had a transfer ban. He really had to make use of the youth players he knew at Derby as well, and that was something I'll always remember as a Chelsea supporter. What he did in the first season at Chelsea, managing to get us Champions League, was so up against it that season, and he comes in and he manages to not only make the best of it, but actually we were cup final that season and 4th place finish in the league, and could have had a cup as well, but the final didn't go our way. But the following season, we had a lot of new signings come in. There was more pressure. There was lockdown the entire season as well. He didn't have the home support, who was always so much behind him as well, which didn't help matters. And eventually, unfortunately, that was the season he was sacked at Chelsea, and it was proven to be the right decision in the end. Thomas Tuchel comes in, takes us to the next step, wins the Champions League, turns it around. But it was a shame. It was a very, very sad day, the day Frank Lampard was sacked at Chelsea. We had him briefly in charge again when we really wasn't in a good period after Graham Potter, where he did the best he could, but he was, that was just not really, never really had a fair chance there, did he? And then he was not at Everton very long, kept him up the first season. Second season wasn't going well, and he ended up getting sacked there either. If these jobs, Premier League jobs, are very high pressure though, and I felt he really did need that Championship job, and I think he did the right thing moving to Coventry and not taking, I don't know, because it was links to sort of West Ham and teams that are sacked managers near the bottom of the Premier League early in the season. I think he definitely did the right thing, staying there, not doing what Rob Edwards did and leaving Middlesbrough and going on to Wolves. I know he's got the connection with that club anyway, but even so, I think Lampard really did do the right thing, not only to stick by Coventry and give them the promotion that they deserve, but also to for his own career as well. I think that was the sensible thing to do. I've always liked his approach as a manager, Lampard. How he, it was very possession-based football, but it was very direct. It wasn't any of this sort of side-to-side stuff that we see a lot of managers do now. It's very much attacking football, fast attacking transitions. It's a very good way of playing the game, I believe. It's a very good way of setting a team up, and Coventry have really made use of that this season. They're a very counter-attacking team that didn't have much of the ball under Mark Robins, and I think Lampard has still kept a lot of the good attributes that Mark Robins had with some of the players that are still there from this time, in the way he's managed to set Coventry up this season. So yeah, very impressive stuff from Lampard, and Chelsea legends as well. Great to see him doing so well, and I'm glad Coventry come up as well, because it's a club I like a lot. And you know, a club that's been through so much, supporters that have had to put up with years of misery for so long, and now they've had this incredible rise back to the top. They're one of the clubs that deserve it more than most, actually. So I'm really pleased to see them come up this season. Playoff defeat they had to suffer last season in their first season under Lampard as well. He turned the season around, got them in the playoffs. So unlucky in the playoffs, conceded in the last minute against Sunderland. You know, exactly like similar to the playoff final the 2 years before. So they've had so much playoff misfortunes. I think this is the season they really had to avoid that playoff place, and they did. Go on and won the league convincingly as well. And it was, you know, it's been in some season as well. I mean, they had such a fast start to the season. They're league's top scorers by such a long way as well. The amount of goals they've scored really reflect how far clear they are on points as well. And they blitzed into about, I think it was a 9-point lead at one point. They was in sort of November, December time earlier this season, and then they ended up slipping it, letting that lead slip a bit. That bit of a bad spell, and Middlesbrough teams like that caught them up, and it looked like they might have a real battle to hold on to the top two. But then they really have kicked on in the second half of the season. They've almost found an extra couple of levels under Lampard. So incredible scenes last night as well. Them getting promoted, it really was a good day for football, seeing this happen, this story unfold. But they're a team I'm looking forward to seeing in the Premier League as well. I'm looking forward to seeing them play in the Premier League. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. Actually, there's definitely some potential there for Lampard to really do something with this team. I think it's an ideal job for him. I think it's the right way for Lampard to do it. It's a nice transition, having done so well at a club in the Championship, then to manage him again in the Premier League. I think it's a lot better to being thrown in at the deep end in a Premier League club that's struggling and having to try and turn it around. I think he's already got the supporters behind him. Yeah, I'm really interested to see where this could go. I'm looking forward to seeing them come to Stamford Bridge as well, Coventry. I'm looking forward to us playing at their ground. I think this is exciting time. It's a good thing that's been out of the Premier League for so long. It's good to see a team like this finally make it back. In terms of next season, for now, it's just a case of enjoy the promotion, enjoy the rest of the season. But as for next season, what do Coventry do? What do they need to do over the summer? It's a very big summer for them now. Very exciting time, but very big decisions all need to be made, no doubt. I know their goalkeeper on loan from Brighton. Can they get him on a permanent deal? I'm not too sure what the circumstances will be with that. But Sunderland were in a similar situation last year. They need a new goalkeeper. Good recruitment strategies. They found a really good one. Coventry proven they've got very good recruitment as well. I have no doubt they could pull off something similar. They have a few players on loan as well. I know they got the one from Brentford, the midfielder. He looks good as well. I think it looks like they are going to keep him on get him on a permanent deal. That'd be a very good addition. Can't remember his name, but you know what I mean. The one from Nigeria. He's been a good addition to Coventry on loan. Players like the top goal scorers, Hadji Wright and Ellis Sims. I think it's very important they keep hold of these two in particular, because they have only got a year left on their contract. So does Lampard, actually. He's only got a year and a half. So I think one thing they've got to do, Coventry, is get these, not only Lampard but also those two attackers on new contracts. I think will be essential. I have no doubt with all the money they're going to get in from this promotion, they'll be able to do that. But yeah, certainly won't want to be losing any of them. They want to be keeping hold of players that have achieved this for them. I think there could be a lot. There's potential. We see what Sunderland have done this season in the Premier League, come up and sort of breaking this pattern of teams coming up and really struggling, not being able to compete. I think there's potential for Coventry to do similar thing. To be honest, with their recruitment strategy, I really think they could do it. I think they've got the right man in charge as well in Lampard. I think this is a team that has got the potential, and I'm very looking forward to seeing them in the Premier League this season. And congratulations to them for their promotion, this incredible season in the Championship they've had. In the end, absolutely walked it. They've been worlds above everyone else in the Championship this season. Now it very much is a battle for second place. Big games being played in that today. We've got Millwall, Ipswich, Southampton, Middlesbrough all still eyeing up second place. So who will be joining Coventry, we'll find out soon. But Coventry have done it. They have finally reached the Premier League again.